So let's say we have two developers now. I'm going to work on the bookstore, and Brian is going to work on profiles. How do we do that without running into each other? Well, let's check out this command here. Git branch. Now, mine is on the branch main, meaning that I only have one branch right now. It might be master for you, depending on what Git version you're using, but if it's on main, we can fix that later. In this case, it doesn't really matter as long as you follow back and just getting back to the specific branch. But let's say I want to, one developer is working in a bookstore, another developer is working in profiles. But we don't want to really intersect with each other, because anything that is on main is how our application looks, essentially, and how it works. Obviously, this is not an application, but we're trying to keep this, code agnostic and just going over actual concepts rather than actual code, because Git, as far as Git is concerned, it doesn't really care what programming language is coded. It cares about tracking changes. That's all. So let's say that I want to add some more to the bookstore, and whoever, Brian, wants to add some more to profiles. But here's the key thing: we don't want to add anything to the main branch until we're ready. So like, we're working on new features of an application, right? But we don't want to add anything when we are ready. So how can we do that? Can we do that? Yeah, of course we can do that. And that would be with branching. So let's see how Git explains branching. Branches in a nutshell. All right, lots of text. Oh my god. I mean, unless you're a robot, you're not really going to essentially go over this. So let's maybe take a look at a more user-friendly approach to branching. Okay, so how would that work in branch? Well, something like that, right? Just take a look at this, right? We have like the main branch, which is represented by the upwards arrow. And then maybe if we want to have other things that are being done, but you don't really want to mess with the main branch, then you create your own branch, and then you work on this part of the application completely free and completely not disturbed by other application code, and without worrying that you're going to mess up anything within the main application, right? And then once you have done the changes that you need, then you will then just merge that into the application, usually done by the team lead or something like that, like one of the lead developers and whatnot. So basically, it's kind of like you're creating like a different timeline, like I don't know, like a different offshoot of the application, and then you can mess with it as much as you want, and then only the changes that you want can be accepted into the application, and that's that. So let's see how we do that in Git, and it's can be a little bit challenging at first, but it's actually more straightforward than you think. Now, of course, this is being Git and them trying to anticipate every situation. There's like 1,001 ways to create a branch and switch branches. Well, not 1,001, but a few. Let's go over like the most modern ones. Let's switch over to our repository, and we'll say git branch. And it says we're on branch main here, right? And if you notice, my VS Code also says on branch main. Again, the tools are getting better by literally the month. So I'm going to go and make a branch which I'm going to work on bookstore functionality. right? And that's going to be me, just me. So I'm going to make a branch. So get branch, bookstore, functionality. There we go. I can spell, hopefully. And we'll press enter. We'll say get branch once again. Now, I have two branches, bookstore functionality and main. Now I have a little asterisk here. It might be a little different for you depending if you're in like a newer Mac, older Mac, which operating system you're on the Mac, which Ubuntu shell version you are in. But generally something will point to the branch that you're in the terminal. Also, VS Code will also point to the branch that you're in right now. So how do we switch over from branches and how do we work with these branches? Well, let's take a look. And what can we do with these branches now? Well, now we have two branches, bookstore functionality and main, right? So what if I want to go to the bookstore functionality branch? So I'll just say get checkout, bookstore, functionality. And that's one of the ways to do it. Another way is to say get switch, bookstore, functionality. Either or, again, Git is one of those examples where like they engineer for everything. So we'll just say git checkout, bookstore, functionality. Now we say switch to branch, bookstore functionality. Let's say get status now. Nothing to commit, working strictly. On branch, bookstore functionality. Now if we do get branch again, what do we see, right? Now this branch is highlighted. Let's do get log. Here's the key. We have on this branch, the moment that we switched off from the main branch, it has all of the commits from that moment up to now. Now from here, this branch is going to be totally different. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look here. Let's clear this up and let's say that we want to add a couple more books. So we have Dune, Children of Dune. What else do you want to add? Oh, I don't know. Let's have the Harry Potter series, like Harry Potter. What was the first one? The Philosopher's Stone? Okay, great. So we added all of that. Now, let's take a look here, right? Git is now tracking the changes, right? Take a look here. VS Code says that we are on bookstore functionality branch. Again, really cool on that. If you take a look at version control, pending changes are going on. And let's switch back. Let's say git status. All right, changes not staged to commit on branch bookstore functionality. So let's just do git add dash all. Dash all. Again, Git will try to give you a hint. And then git commit, adding books to the database. Whoops, I forgot the message. -m, adding books to the database. Right. Let's do git log again. Again, the top one is the most recent one, right? So adding books to the database. Now check out something here, right? This shows branch main. Now this latest commit shows the branch being in bookstore functionality. Now this is important. This is very important. So go back to VS Code, right? And see that everything is fine. Everything is good. Everything is completely fine and committed. And we have Dune, Children of Dune, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now let's switch back to the main branch. Let's go out of here, Q to quit, or escape Q depending. And let's say git branch again. And let's say git, not git checkout main. So we're going back to the main branch. So we were now at bookstore functionality. Now we're going back to the main branch. Now we're back to the branch main. Let's go back to VS Code. Wait, what happened? We just had 2 new books added here. Now it's gone. What's going on? What's going on? Well, let's see. Git status. Wait, nothing to commit. Working tree clean. Okay, git log. What's going on? Now, there's actually an explanation to this, right? Because when I said when we create branches, it creates like a parallel universe of our Git repository. From that point, from exact point where when I created that branch, it takes all of the information it has and it creates like its own parallel repository, right? So as far as the main branch is concerned, everything is still fine. Everything is still fine. This is kind of like our version of the application, right? But on the branch called, I already forgot what it's called, bookstore repository, right? On the bookstore functionality, we have the new books, but we are on the main branch and we switched over and Git completely went back to whatever the status of our code was there. That's really cool, right? Because we had one part of the application, like we're adding things there, and now we go back and now we're back to where we were on the main branch, right? Okay, well, how about let's say we want to do update profiles, right? So let's do another way to create a branch because Git has so many different ones. So Git checkout a specific branch. We'll switch to that specific branch. So we want to go to the bookstore profiles. If you press enter, not really going to work because it's going to say, hey, bookstore profiles, well, it's not a branch right now. And again, Git over engineering or amazing engineering, they have so many different ways to do the same thing. We can either do git switch, but we can also do git checkout -b. -b will essentially say, hey, this is a flag to go to this branch and create it. So I will say bookstore profiles. Bookstore profiles, yeah. Now switch to a new branch called bookstore profiles. Great. Clear this up. Let's do git branch. Now check this out. Now we have 3 branches: bookstore functionality, bookstore profiles, and main, right? Let's take a look back, right? All right. Now the bookstore doesn't have those new books because bookstore profiles is not at all aware of whatever's going on in the bookstore functionality, right? Bookstore profiles is only from that snapshot where that branch was. So if we want to change something, we want, well, Bob Smith, male, let's say 38, female, 25, female, 49, and Steve Smith, male, 20. So we just updated some profiles, right? We updated that. So like we were working on profile code. And again, we'll do git status. Something is being updated, stage for changes. So we'll do git add --all. And then we'll git commit. And we'll say, hey, well, we're going to update profiles. Update profiles data. Again, one file change, 4 insertions, 4 deletions. Again, 4 insertions, 4 deletions is a weird little thing, right? We didn't delete anything. We just changed 4 lines. But as far as get is concerned, it's replacing whatever was here with the new information, replacing whatever was here with the new information, and so on and so forth. Just, kind of like a conceptual thing. Let's clear this up. Let's do get status again. And let's do get log. And we have all of the commits from main, and we have a new commit from bookstore profiles. All right. So how do we do that? Like, what do we do next, essentially? Well, let's do the following, right? We want to then, our lead dev says, whatever's in the profiles, we want to update and have it reflect in the main part of the application, right? So let's take a look on how we do that next. So what do we need to do, right? We need to update whatever we had in this case, our bookstore profiles with the main branch, right? Because if we go back, we clear this out, and if we go back to the main branch, see, we are right now in bookstore profiles. If we go back to the main branch, we'll say get checkout main, or we can do get switch main, either or, it will work. We're back in branch main, but if we go back, whoop, the profile data is gone. Well, let's see. Let's see if we can take a look at what's going on here. First, we'll do get stats. On branch main, nothing to commit. Okay. Let's say we want to take all the changes from bookstore profiles and put it into main. Well, we will do git merge. It's exactly like it sounds. And the first argument is bookstore profiles. That's going to be the main the branch is going into main, and bookstore profiles. And let's press enter. And let's see what happens. Fast forward. Profiles.txt, 1 file change, 4 insertions, and 4 deletions. Great. Now let's do get status. On branch main, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Let's take a look here. Now we're in branch main, and this is updated. Let's take a look here again, get log. Now we're in main. We are merged with bookstore profiles, update profiles data. So anything that was any last commit that was done in bookstore profiles is now merged with main. So the last commit that was in bookstore profiles, which is update profiles data, is now in the main branch, and now they're both synced as far as the commits go. Now we still don't have whatever the commit was from our third branch, which is called what? Bookstore functionality. Well, let's do that. Git merge bookstore functionality. Now we have something weird, right? And we have a conflict, right? And it says, okay, well, something's going on here. You're trying to merge 2 different branches together. First one, bookstore profiles, is ahead, and bookstore functionality is a little bit what's the best word for it? It's a little bit behind everything that's going on, right? Because right now, bookstore profiles is 1 step ahead of bookstore functionality. So we'll say, okay, reconciling. And this is where these merges can get a little bit scary. So message, reconciling 3 branches, and I'll save it, yes, and whatnot. Now let's go to get status on branch main, nothing to commit, working tree clean. So now we have the profiles. Now we have all the books and everything is all right. More or less, essentially. So we got bookstore profiles and we have bookstore functionality. Now, the reason we had to when we had to explain to Git what we're doing is, again, because when we merged the bookstore functionality, technically it was behind the bookstore profiles commit. And we're saying, okay, that's fine. It's a little bit behind as far as Git is concerned, but it's fine. I know what I'm doing. Everybody's working on their own piece of code and everything is fine. Whoever's working the profile is working all in the profile. Whoever's working the functionality is working on the functionality. Hey, but what happens if for some reason both of you have worked on the same piece of code? And then let's kind of take a look at that next. And the same piece of code, right? So we have now our branch main. Everything seems pretty fine, right? So Git status, everything is good on branch main. Branch main now knows of all the changes to the bookstore, all the changes to the profiles, right? But what happens if you go to bookstore profiles? We'll use switch this time. Let's take a look back here. Profiles are fine, but the store is not, right? And that was our previous merge conflict, essentially. So we'll git merge main. And now the books are here, so we're good. Now the profiles are all good, essentially. So profiles are completely synced to the main branch. Are we okay? Possibly. This is where scary merge conflicts happen. So let's git switch or checkout. Again, main. Git status. What happens if you try the git merge main branch? Sorry, the bookstore profiles. Already up to date. They're completely fine. So they're essentially at the same place, both of them. So let's check out another branch. Let's go to bookstore functionality. Oops. Spelling. There we go. And then we'll merge the main branch as well, just to make sure everything is up to date. Now, in the main branch, we're gonna go to user list and add Mike. And I'll say, sorry, in the bookstore functionality branch, we'll add Mike. And I will say git add -- all and git commit -m add Mike to, what was it? User list.txt. Great. Clear this up. Git checkout or switch to main. Amazing. Now, how about we go to git checkout. Store functionality. Or was that the one we were just in? Git checkout bookstore profiles. All right, bookstore profiles is here. And here we will add whatever, John. Let's go back and git status, git add dash dash all, git commit dash m, add John. Great. Now, maybe you're starting to see the problem. I added Mike on one branch, I added John on another branch. Well, let's go to the main branch. And let's merge the bookstore functionality first. Let's start from the top. So let's say git branch. We are main branch and we have two of these to merge, essentially. Changes from both of them. So we'll say git merge. We'll start with bookstore functionality. Okay, good. And how about we do it now? Git merge. Let's check this out. We have Mike. Okay. And then we have git merge bookstore profiles. And we have a scary error. Auto merging using list.txt conflict, merge conflict in user.list.txt, automatic merge failed, fix conflicts, commit result. Oh my God, right? What does this mean? Well, let's take a look. Let's open this up. And before we would have to figure this out in a terminal, and we can still figure this out in a terminal, but here we have VS Code, and this is great. Now, VS Code is telling us a couple of things. Hey, we have the main branch, right? And there's other two branches. Now, each branch is supposed to be working in their own thing, and they should be working in their own thing, but for some reason we got confused, and both of us edited the same file. Both of us edited the same file, and now Git is saying, I'm not sure which one you want me to keep. Do you want me to keep Mike? Do you want me to keep John? Do you want me to keep both? So incoming change is Mike. I'm replacing Mike with John. Is that what we want to do? Or am I replacing John with Mike? What do you want me to do? Well, honestly, this is where VS Code can be really good. It says accept current change, accept incoming change, accept both changes, or compare change. We can do compare changes, for example. Accept current change is whatever is the newest merge command. Accept incoming change is what's coming in. Accept both changes is, hey, Mike and John are both going to be there. Let's do that. So let's do it. Accept both changes and resolve merge editor. Complete merge. Complete with conflicts. Close with conflicts. Now I go to git status, modified, user list.txt, git add, dash dash all, git commit, dash m, scary, merge, conflict. And everything is fine. We go back here. And now our user list has both Mike and John in there. Sometimes, sometimes you have to make a decision. Sometimes you only want, the changes from one person. Sometimes you want the changes from another person. If they both override each other, well, you might want to check what overrides what. Luckily, these are the decisions that are made by essentially the most senior devs and team leads, rather than somebody that is just starting out. So that's the intro to branches. Next, we'll expand on branches a little more. So I'll see you there.